let's analyze this. So, the WWE, as a possible replacement for the now defunct Slammy Awards ceremony that they used to do at the ending of every year on Monday Night Raw, it seems that they are replacing it with this possible series that they got going on that they started, I believe, earlier in the year. It might have been last year that they started this. They call it Head to Head. And it's a little discussion between two. Are they fans? Are they writers? Like, I don't know. Are they part of the social media group that works for the WWE? Probably. I don't know. One of you peeps can let me know down in the comment section below who these guys are. But I know they represent the WWE in some capacity. They give their opinions and thoughts based on the topic at hand. And the last head-to-head that I saw that they did was the Attitude Era versus the current era in the WWE, which, in my view, the Attitude Era was more entertaining, had more compelling storylines, but this current era has the best roster. And I don't think I will find anybody disagreeing with me on that one. WWE, as of right now, in this current moment of time, they have the absolute best roster ever assembled in the company's history. Arguably in professional wrestling history as a whole. This is the best roster that I've seen personally since the Ruthless Aggression era. Ever since Triple H's quote-unquote reign of terror. That time, and you had Kurt Angle and Brock running things on SmackDown, Edge coming up the card, RVD being a star, Shawn Michaels having the greatest comeback that I've ever seen, and solidifying his status as the GOAT, things of that nature. But anyway, they're going to talk about who they believe, who they feel, in their opinion, is WWE Superstar of the Year. My personal Superstar of the Year, to me, is Ronda Rousey, because when I think about Superstar of the Year or MVP or whatever have you, I analyze it and I think about it in the way in which other sports analyze their MVPs of the year. Number one, the most important thing to me is, did you compete, did you wrestle throughout the entire year? I'm talking from start to finish. And if you didn't wrestle the entire year, you had to have at least wrestled at least 9 to 10 months of the 12 months of the year. I think about overall impact, the way you've been booked, your promo work. Did you improve on the mic? Your in-ring skills, did you improve in the ring? Having the psychology down, developing an IQ, a certain high level of understanding of wrestling, both in the ring and as a character. I think about all of these things. So, to me, Ronda Rousey has been able to embody all of those things. She's been able to translate very well. She's been able to pick this up, and to me, her rookie year has been way more impressive, in my view, than Kurt Angle's rookie year. And I've already covered this in another video. I said Kurt Angle, his year was great too, but he already had enough wrestling experience. He already had enough in-ring experience. He might not have been doing it at a high level, but he already had enough experience. And I'm not talking about Olympic wrestling experience. I'm talking pro wrestling experience. He competed in the NWA's 40th anniversary Battle Royal back in '98, a year before he debuted at the Survivor Series. Look it up. If you think I'm lying, look it up. He already had enough in-ring experience. So to me, 99 wasn't really his rookie year. It was his rookie year in the WWE, but not his rookie year as a wrestler. Ronda Rousey this year has been her rookie year as a professional wrestler. So that's why I'm more impressed with her. She's gotten better on the mic. Her matches are really good. Her match with Charlotte at Survivor Series was great. And I don't care what anybody has to say about her style. Her style works. As a wrestler, you have a role to fulfill. You have a role that they give you, and they give you these roles for a reason. They give you certain things to do in the ring for a reason. And if you're able to do them well, you do them well. Paul Heyman once said, what made ECW so successful, what made me become the businessman that I became in running ECW was the fact that I always took away the negatives. I threw out the negatives of my talent and I accentuated the positives. That's what you do. That's what you do. And Ronda Rousey has been able to take the positives and work them well. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Y'all can complain about her quote-unquote in-ring skill or lack thereof, quote-unquote, all you want. To me, she's a good wrestler. She's a great wrestler. She's picked this up so effortlessly, damn near. And to me, she is the superstar of the year. But let's see what they have to say.
Welcome, everyone, to our head-to-head year-end lightning round. I'm Tony. And I'm Jeff. First topic, please.
Give it to me. Becky Lynch is not a man today.
No.
But she is the man, for sure. She went from utility player to SmackDown Women's Champion, Invader of Raw. And if you tweet her, it gets real bad for you real fast.
But you're going to want to cover your ears for my pick.
Why?
So, Becky Lynch, I like Becky Lynch. I always have. I always will. And her rise has been amazing. It has been something that is lightning in a bottle. You know, it's something that can't be duplicated. It's something that we really didn't expect. And she's been having a great run and a pretty good year. But to me, I don't have her as my MVP or wrestler of the year because the fact that she wasn't impactful throughout the whole year. Her impact, her run, her greatness, her main event status didn't start till June, when she went on that little winning streak that started. I'm not sure if it was before Money in the Bank or after, but it was around that time where she started her little winning streak where she was beating practically everybody on SmackDown. And then it led to her title opportunity at SummerSlam. And then, you know, the rest is history. We all know what happened after that. She turned. I wouldn't say it was a heel turn. It wasn't a heel turn. It was just a character alteration. That's what I like to call it. It was a character tweak. It wasn't a heel turn. They tried to make it a heel turn, but it was never a heel turn. And ever since then, she's been just dominant. And she's gotten so much more comfortable and better on the mic. She seems like she's more comfortable as the man, Becky Lynch, than she was as the straight fire last kicker. And she's had a hell of a run. I'll give her that. She's had a hell of a run. I don't understand the comparisons with Stone Cold, but she's had a hell of a run. Stone Cold is a once in a lifetime thing. Not even a once in a lifetime thing. It's a once ever thing. Stone Cold Steve Austin is on my Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, meaning that he will never come down. His transcendence overwhelms everything. He will never be able to come down from that mountain. Not to say that Becky Lynch hasn't reached that, to me, in my view. And let's stop with the comparisons with Stone Cold. I'm just going to leave it at that. Let Becky be Becky, okay? To me, there'll never be another Stone Cold. The pops that he used to get were just insane. Just insane. And I think that the only guy that has come close to having those type of pops was CM Punk. I mean, not CM Punk. Daniel Bryan. Excuse me. Daniel Bryan. Especially when he turned on Bray Wyatt back in, late 2013 when that happened. In that cage, when they had that cage match. Who they went against? The Usos? I think they went against the Usos and lost. But, nobody can touch Stone Cold. In terms of pop, in terms of impact. Well, there's only really one person that could touch it, and that's Hulk Hogan. But Austin is a once everything. So let's stop with the comparisons with Becky. Becky's had a great year, no doubt, but she didn't really start gaining that impact and that momentum until June.
I'm picking the guy who owned Monday Night Raw this year.
Vince?
No. Intercontinental title run. Tag title run. Gauntlet match. WrestleMania entrance with the cool eyes. SummerSlam entrance with the cool foot. Seth freaking Rollins.
Alright, Seth Rollins, yeah. Yeah, Seth Rollins has had an amazing year. I'll give it to him. It is debatable. I think he's probably in my top 3 in terms of guys on the roster that's had an amazing year, behind AJ Styles and Braun Strowman. Yeah, I don't know. I have not picked my MVP for the men for this year. I still haven't really decided. I know for the women I got Ronda Rousey, but for the men, I don't know. It's so tough. And you got to think about NXT. You got to think about the guys on NXT too. You got to think about Gargano. You got to think about Dream. You got to think about Tommaso Ciampa. Hell, you can put Ricochet into that conversation. You can put Adam Cole into that conversation. You could put Pete Dunne in that conversation, who's the UK champion and has been the UK champion for almost 2 years now. So you got to think about all of that shit. It's very hard in terms of the men, because you got to divide it and you got to look at everything. 3D thinking. All right, so they're gonna choose who the master of the mic has been.
Oh, Wendy!
There was only one guy, Tony, who stopped in the middle of a match to berate another man's family. In the middle of a match! And he also wrote a children's book about choking someone out. And that man is the master of the mic, Samoa Joe.
I'm just going to go for a guy who got the town he was in to boo him because he mentioned their sports team.
Shout out Gary Payton.
The Seattle Supersonics died so Elias could live. I walk with him, I stand him, and I dedicate this to him.
Don't tell me you have a guitar.
Oh yes, get ready. Nice, huh?
That was terrible.
Nah, shut up.
I'd definitely give it to Joe. Even though I like this promo work more last year, especially when he feuded with Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Joe was a lot better on the mic last year. But Joe's been good on the mic this year too. I can't think of anybody else really. Maybe Miz. But Miz is always going to be good on the mic. That's never going to stop. But then again, Becky has been really good on the mic as well this year, especially since the character alteration. She's gotten just a hell of a lot better. And she was never bad to begin with on the mic, but she's just gotten so much better and just so much more comfortable.
Oof, this is a big one.
I know. Who you got? You're going to be wrong, but who you got?
Becky and Charlotte at Evolution. They tore the house down.
Well, I've got Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa at TakeOver Chicago.
I don't hate it. I do hate your accent. Next!
Whoa. So nobody's going to consider Andrade Cien Almas and Johnny Gargano from TakeOver Philly? Really? Nobody's going to think about that. That was this year, right? Yeah, that was this year. Was that this year? Or was that last year? Oh man, no, that was this year. Yes, that was this year. So nobody's gonna consider that match. The TakeOver Philly match between Almas and Gargano for the NXT title. That was the match of the year. I don't know what these dudes are talking about. That was the best match of the whole year. That match was amazing. I don't give a damn what anybody says, man. The fact that they didn't even take that into consideration is ridiculous. Gargano and Ciampa, they had a great feud and they had great matches, but nothing tops Almas and Gargano. Just the feeling of Johnny's gonna get it, Johnny's gonna get it, Johnny's gonna get it, and then he lost. And just the counters and the overall psychology, man, that was two guys going in there that had something to prove. And they showed the fuck up. They showed the fuck up. And that match was way better than their singles match that they had, what was that, TakeOver Brooklyn a few months prior from last year in 2017. I don't know what these guys are talking about. Brand of the year, fuck it, NXT. Oh, I put NXT over SmackDown and Raw.
Alright, you got Daniel Bryan, you got Shinsuke, you got Charlotte, Asuka, Naomi, Becky, Samoa Joe, the Usos, The New Day, Randy Orton, The Bar, Rey Mysterio. There's a lock. It's SmackDown Live.
No. The brand of the year is 205 Live.
What? Hot take.
These cruiserweights are amazing. The show has the best match-to-match quality week in, week out of any show in the company. 205 Live is something special, and you should all be watching it.
Oh my God!
Tony.
I have not been watching 205 Live. I need to start watching it again. I just thought NXT was better because talent, the consistent takeovers, like they never disappoint with the takeovers. They never, ever disappoint with the takeovers. You can't even say the NXT takeovers is like Shawn Michaels matches. It's like the worst match was still a good match. It's the same thing with these NXT takeovers. The worst takeover was still a good takeover. There's never been a bad takeover show. Never. Ever. Like I said, the worst takeover was still a good, watchable takeover. Who else has been able to do that? Come on.
We're halfway done.
All right.
Why don't we rapid fire some of the things we really loved this year that didn't get their own category?
All right, here we go. Dance break.
Braun Strowman breaking everything.
The ultimate deletion.
The Iconics.
Shanti.
The ultimate deletion is already forgettable. Nobody has been talking about that since it happened. Nobody has not gone back and looked at that as a thing that happened this year. Seriously. I don't know anybody that's been talking about it. I really don't. So,
Titus World Slide.
John Cena with hair.
Velveteen Dream as Hogan.
B team, go.
Nicholas.
Tag team champion, the Undisputed Era, playing air guitar with their titles.
Leo Rush wearing a watch on both wrists.
AJ Styles getting low blow.
The UK tournament.
AJ Styles getting low blow.
The Mae Young Classic.
AJ Styles getting low blow.
Cruiserweight title tournament.
AJ Styles.
All right, enough. We get it. Let's get
It
back.
happened a lot. I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan. Started on the shelf, ended winning the title, and he kicked Brock Lesnar right into Jimmy Jones. Impressive.
You know who also was injured and also ended up winning a title when he came back? Jeff Hardy. He's my pick for comeback of the year. Plus, Daniel Bryan didn't have a screwdriver threaded through his friggin' ear.
Stop. Why are you showing
I
this?
just wanted to gross you.
Oh, God, you're the worst.
I would put Daniel Bryan's comeback over Jeff's. Because Daniel Bryan came back from severe injury problems. Jeff came back from a pretty bad injury as well, but Jeff was already back in the company. Bryan had to get cleared to wrestle. So, and plus, Bryan was a comeback that we wanted to see. Not to say that Jeff wasn't a comeback that we wanted to see. It was, but Jeff is near the end. He's near the end of his road. He's been way past his prime. I don't see him getting another world title run. I don't see that happening. A lot of other people see that happening. I for one don't. I just can't see that happening. Not with Jeff. Cause he's old now. He's old. He's beaten up. He's broken down. He can't even do the swanton anymore full time. He only does it on special occasions now. And I mean, Bryan is past his prime too, but this new heel run that he got going is really interesting. And I've already pitched how I want to see him and Finn Balor feud. I've already explained that with the leather jacket. That would be pretty funny, in my opinion. But yeah, most underrated, Cesaro. I can't think of anybody else. Cesaro again, like the third straight year. Maybe even Shinsuke, and maybe even Joe. You could put Joe on the list because Joe has just been awkwardly booked this year. In terms of this year, everything has just been awkward with Joe. Half of the time, I don't even be understanding what's going on with him. But like I said before in the previous video, I feel like they just don't trust him because he's gotten hurt a few times in the last couple years.
The most underrated superstar of 2018 is Buddy.
No.
Comes from a land down under, and he's also not had a bad match since he got to 205 Live.
You know who rules, Jeff?
Me?
Can't be underrated if you're champion. You cannot be underrated if you're champion. I'm just going to leave it at you cannot be underrated if you're champion. He's been the Cruiserweight champion for how long now? About 2 months? A little over 2 months since Super Showdown. And he's had great matches since. He had great matches before. And he's just been used properly pretty much throughout the whole year. I feel bad for his former tag team partner, Wesley Blake, who's still in freaking NXT. But that's another story for another time. Can't be underrated if you're champ and if you've been booked well throughout the whole year.
No. Nikki Cross.
She's scary.
She knows your secrets. She found out who kicked Aleister Black in the head, and then she just destroyed everything. She's great. Nikki Cross, you're the most underrated superstar of 2018.
Nikki Cross, yeah, you can make an argument for Nikki Cross. Definitely. I thought that her feud with Shayna Baszler should have went longer than it did. And I would have preferred them trading the women's title as opposed to Shayna trading it with Kairi Sane. Just my thing. Could have had the Kairi Sane wait till next year. But now Nikki Cross is supposed to be coming up to the main roster anyway, so. Rookie of the Year, that's self-explanatory. Both of their picks should be the same pick. But let's see.
All right, for Rookie of the Year, let's try something different. Why don't we both reveal our picks on the count of 3? You ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3.
Ronda Rousey.
Do we just become best friends?
Oh, shut up.
Thank you. Agreed. And if you think otherwise, then you're not watching what I'm watching, which is the WWE. So, it got started for 2019. Oh, let's see.
Look, I'm not saying Drew McIntyre is definitely going to be a world champion before the year is out, but I'm going to say that he should be.
Agreed.
I'm going to bet against Brock Lesnar. So I'm going to go over to the blue brand, and I'm going to go on record personally saying that Andrade, Cien, Almas, and Zelina Vega will end up being the MVPs of SmackDown Live in the year.
Well, that's all of our picks, and the year-end lightning round is in the books. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great year.
This show has only existed 4 months.
Agree or disagree with our picks, especially Jeff's? Drop your own pick in the comments, and we'll see you again next year.
Alright, so they've been doing this for 4 months. Alright, so I figured. It hasn't been that long. It's a new little series that they got going on. It's very interesting. So yeah, it would be real interesting to see. I think 2019 is going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a better year for both Raw, SmackDown, NXT, man. they're so transcendent, and they automatically set the bar high every year, so I don't have to worry about NXT at all. NXT is going to be great regardless. The takeovers are going to be great regardless. And I'm definitely looking forward to see what NXT UK has in store for the new year as well. There are plenty of other things to watch, in terms of the WWE, in terms of the network, so y'all don't have to bitch about Raw all the time. Just saying. There's plenty of other things you can watch. The best wrestling that they got going is NXT and NXT UK. You can't tell me otherwise. Just in terms of the WWE. Just in terms of that company themselves. So, this was a good video. Let me know what y'all thought about it down in the comments, and I'm out.